Well, what we're doing today is actually we have a bunch of different species in the pool.
Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, how do you feed a hungry crocodile? Very carefully. We'll take you behind the scenes and into the action. These guys may look spooky, but they play a critical role in our environment. A lesson from Mother Nature on keeping it clean. And one of the most regal and beautiful of breeds, the Irish setter. Why are they called setters? You'll find out right now on Animal Outtakes. Hello and welcome to another edition of Animal Outtakes. Zeus and I have a very educational and inspirational show for you today, don't we, Zeus? We start each week with our Preserve and Protect segment, stories about rescue and recovery, and we always learn something new. Today, a special sanctuary where volunteerism, hard work, and a lot of love for animals is making a difference. What do you get when you cross 5 acres of lush land with dozens of rescued animals and a big-hearted guy named Kevin?
There's a lot more houses than there used to be and a lot less woodlands than there used to.
The Wildlife Center of Venice, where we recently spent a lovely afternoon learning about the animals they preserve and protect.
We do every type of sick, injured, and orphaned wildlife found in the community with few exceptions. Obviously the kind of stuff Moat Marine or Coastal Wildlife would do. We don't do sea turtles, marine mammals, or any of those kind of things. We don't have the room for that kind of a job, but every other kind of mammal, every other kind of reptile we do.
We have these blackbirds here. What are they?
Those are black vultures. Our vultures are actually closer related to wood storks and condors. And they're beautiful birds at a distance. They do have a smell to them due to what they eat and everything. But what they do is they scavenge and clean the streets of everything that's dying and decaying. And without them, it really would be a dirtier world. They do a dirty job, and they're happy to do it.
But don't frighten them. I found out they have an unusual way of warding off enemies.
Now, their main defense is to vomit. And I can tell you what goes in disgusting comes out worse. So don't scare them. Don't get too close. That's a consequence we have to deal with every now and then.
But don't let that make you underestimate their value. They're a vital part of our ecosystem.
When people see fresh roadkill on a busy highway, when opportunity presents itself, as disgusting as it might be, I actually recommend people move the carcasses out of the busy road, not only for the vultures, which I get a lot of hit by cars. I also get bald eagles the same way. I get other hawks and other scavenging animals.
But Kevin is quick to point out that you should never put yourself in harm's way. Safety comes first. And on to another animal that is not car-friendly.
Possums, you know, a lot of times they're hit by cars and they have a whole pouch full of babies. And we get a lot of them from rescue, but a lot of people don't know to look. So that's another reason we stop for a lot of these animals, not only to see if they're alive or not, or to maybe move them out of the way so scavengers don't get hurt, but also they could have babies hiding underneath or something.
So we have 2 little babies here. Mm-hmm. They've obviously lost their mom in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. How do you get them? How do you even get close enough to them?
Well, we get them in a lot of different situations. We get some injured every year. We get some that are orphaned, which, you know, we're always reluctant of the word orphaned with deer over the phone because a lot of times they're not truly orphaned. They're staying put where mom told them to sit. So this here was built by the Girl Scouts. What we have is 3 aviaries dedicated to shorebirds and songbirds and also squirrels, and then a big aviary in the back for shorebirds and seabirds.
Kevin, what a wonderful tour that we've had. It's just been grand to see what you can do and what you're going to continue to do.
Well, thank you very much. We can't thank your show enough for having us be part of the program, and you know, our volunteers are really appreciative to show off what they've been working on.
Kevin and his team at Wildlife Center of Venice are doing some amazing rescue and rehabilitation work for our community, our animals, and some very lucky birds. And along the way, our local Eagle Scouts have lent a hand.
This was first started in 2007 in the back corner. Now we have 12 10x10 Eagle Scout aviaries, nearly 60-foot flyway in between that was planned from day one, that was built by 2 separate Eagle Scout projects. Another scout did all the plumbing to where there's automatic water in every cage. And then the last scout, number 18, I think, did the wiring around the perimeter down in the ground.
So the partnership with the Eagle Scouts is a collaboration of love and proven to be invaluable to the center. From Cooper's hawks to owls to herons and pelicans, Kevin's team is here 24/7 to rescue animals. But rescue is only step one. Often these animals have a long road ahead of them to get them back on their feet or in the air.
Can you get up there? Please get up, baby. All right, that's closer.
Let's find out more from head rehabilitator Pam DeFaw.
We know that this is your ICU unit, and we know that we have to be very quiet in here because many of the animals have had surgery.
Yes.
And it is serious surgery for these animals.
It is.
But you've told us a little bit about this guy over here.
Well, our American bittern was found on the side of the road by Animal Services. He's presumably hit by car. He just had surgery earlier this morning. He has a fractured radius ulna, so the doctor did pin him, and he's very, very angry. Beautiful bird.
His prognosis is good. The bandage will be removed in about 4 days, and in 6 to 8 weeks the pins will come out. Then he can be moved to a large flight aviary for further recovery.
Now, these little guys have just been very curious. They're all
They
raccoons.
Raccoons are often hit by cars, but there's also another common reason they come into the center.
Trapping. A lot of times we get them where somebody has removed a lactating female and then discovered that they're babies, which is where we ended up with these 3 guys.
They're cute enough, but I wondered if raccoons were important to our ecosystem.
Believe it or not, they do play a part because they eat small rodents, rats, lizards, different types of small critters that other people would consider to be pests. They do help keep that population under control.
So they're pest control.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
On this day, Pam had baby bunnies, baby raccoons, baby squirrels, and even a rescued gopher tortoise, all in the caring hands of the center staff and volunteers, and all working together to protect and preserve these valuable animals. To learn more about the Wildlife Center of Venice or to become a volunteer, visit them at wildlifecenterofvenice.org. Wow, Zeus, what a great story. No more sticky traps for us. Even you could get hurt. And now from flight to milk in today's Kids and Critters, we visit a working dairy where a 4-H group gets to raise the cutest little calves and learn how important fresh milk is to our food chain.
So what is your favorite thing about your cow?
How she sucks my fingers.
How she sucks your fingers, and why does she do that?
Because she's a big baby.
She's a big baby. So what do you have to do to prepare your cow? Like, how do you get her so friendly and to just stand still like that?
You put the halter on here, you tie her up, and then you love on her, and then you brush her, and then you love on her.
You do, so your cow's definitely really friendly because you love on her so much. What's her name?
Her name is Mabel, and
What's her personality like? How would you describe her?
she's very frisky, and she likes to do what she wants, and she loves to lick. That is her favorite thing to do.
and she loves to run.
Do you have to like brush her every day or like walk her around every day like you would in a show?
Every week, or as many days as I can come out, every week I brush her and I walk her for as long as she lets me. And I go a little more every day.
What we do is, you know, we support all the FFA, all the middle schools, high schools here in Manatee County, and then all the 4-H clubs. It's a good learning experience for kids that don't live out in the country, aren't exposed to the agricultural area of, you know, they just have no clue.
We milk 3 times a day, so each cow's milked 3 times, but we run a parlor that milks about 68 cows at a time, about 300 an hour. So, and the milk is from the parlor. It's pumped through a refrigeration system that it's dropped down to 34 degrees within less than a minute. And it goes onto the trucks behind us here at 34 degrees. There it's loaded, and as soon as the truck is loaded, it's gone off to the milk plant.
It's like the hardest
You
part.
know, this animal is not an animal that you're going to take to the fair and sell. It's not a sale animal. These kids don't get big bucks for these animals, and these kids put a lot of time. Their parents are amazing. They take the time. They bring their children out here to work with these calves because you've got to halter break them. You've got to get them used to you. You've got to get them, you know, to where they'll lead with you, and that's just so important. I mean, what you put into it is what you get out of it.
Well, she's very hyper and she likes jumping around and running, and I've learned that you need to take care of them as much as possible, and you don't want to leave them hanging because then they'll think that you're just not their owner at all. If I'm stubborn, she'll be stubborn.
It's definitely taught me patience and that you have to just keep on going until they're ready to persevere.
Good for those hard-working youngsters. Up next, I'll take you up close and personal with these hungry crocs. And I'm lucky I got out with all of my fingers on this one. Don't go away.
Do you like tacos?
Do you like dogs?
Do you like burritos?
Do you like dogs?
Do you like chips?
Do you like dogs? Come out to any Papo's Taqueria locations on November 17th and 18th.
And for every order, Papo's Taqueria will donate to Dante's Den.
Providing loving care for dogs whose owners can't be there due to illness, injury, military deployment, or abandonment.
Papo's for Pups. Great food for a great cause.
Once again, my friend Andrew at Animal Transport has got me right in the middle of a pretty scary situation. But it all turned out well, and we learned some very important lessons.
Andrew, I know that's an alligator. Tell us a little bit about him and then the difference between the alligator and the crocodile that are swimming all around you.
Well, the easiest way you can tell is if you look at their snout. Alligators have a rounded and more U-shaped snout, where crocodiles are going to have a slender, more V-shaped snout. So this is obviously an alligator because it does have the rounded snout. So that's the easiest way you can tell. If you get close enough, you can actually notice that alligators, when their mouths are shut, they only have their top teeth showing, where crocodiles are going to have upper and lower teeth showing.
Florida is a one-of-a-kind place for these reptiles.
We actually are the only place in the entire world that has alligators and crocodiles in the wild. We have the American alligator and we have the American crocodile. So we actually have both species, alligators and crocodiles.
Here on the Gulf Coast, we're accustomed to seeing alligators. Crocodiles, not so much.
The American crocodile mostly stays down south in Homestead, Miami area. They don't really venture up much further north than that. Every once in a while you will have the occasional one that'll come up the coast, because American crocodiles are actually more of a saltwater crocodile. They will live in saltwater for periods of time.
I've seen Andrew get up close and personal with many animals. He just seems fearless to me.
but he sees it differently.
I wouldn't say I'm fearless, but I have a high respect for these animals, and I've spent most of my life learning their behavior and how they react to certain things. So anytime I do anything, I always take every precaution necessary. You know, I study these guys daily. I learn their behaviors, their attitudes, how they, just how they act in general, so I can learn certain ways. And before I do anything that's considered a little risky, or it takes a lot of thought and a lot of work goes into that.
He makes it look effortless as he catches a creature that doesn't look like the crocodile or the alligator.
Now this is actually a caiman. Now these guys are from South America, and they do kind of look like a cross between an alligator and a crocodile. They have a little more of a broad snout like an alligator, but it's more slender than an alligator, so it's kind of almost the in-between. Now this is a spectacle caiman, and he was actually, or she I should say, was caught in Homestead. So technically, Florida does have all three species. We have alligators, crocodiles, and caiman. Naturally, we're only supposed to have alligators and crocodiles, but unfortunately, due to importation of certain reptiles, these guys were imported, and a lot of them escaped back in the 80s and 90s. So we have a sustained population of spectacle caiman.
I had to ask about the Cuban crocodile sunning on the deck.
The thing you're going to notice is she has a kind of an arch on her back, so that was a birth defect. From birth she's had that, so she wasn't deemed exhibitable for like a facility to exhibit because she has a flaw. So we took her in, and she stays here now with us.
And that just goes to show you that our fearless man Andrew, who swims with the gators, has a heart bigger than all of these reptiles combined. Our very important pet this week is a cuddly, really smart pup who gets to go to work in a TV station every day. How could that be? Let's find out.
Wrigley is 14 weeks old, and he is a black Labrador Retriever. He came to us here at the station and to my family when he was almost 9 weeks old, and he was born and bred at Southeastern Guide Dogs in Palmetto. And so we are doing the job of basically raising him through his puppy stages. He's usually with the puppy raisers until around 14 to 15 months of age. So he is going through normal socialization that you do with any dog, learning his manners, his house skills, and he'll also learn about 60 commands. He is an extremely well-behaved puppy, I will certainly say that. He likes to train. He has a great, fairly laid-back personality. I'm very appreciative of how go-with-the-flow he is. I do the morning show. He's been getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He rides 2.5 hours in the car every day and a little more than an hour each way. Plus he goes to sports at night. And he, I think, likes being at the office because obviously there's lots of people that will say hello to him, but he also gets, his downtime is here and his on-the-go time is with me the rest of the day. My daughter, who is 16 years old, has been asking for a couple of years. And, she got more and more serious. I asked her to find out more information. She did more research. I made her wait until she had a driver's license. So we are actually co-raising as mother and daughter. So when I get home from work, if I need to take a nap, if the puppy needs something, and most of the training is actually on her shoulders as her responsibility. So I made her really work hard to earn it, and she has done a good job. It's honestly, from a mother-daughter point of view, sometimes it's hard to get along with your teenage daughter. This has been a really good project for us to do together. Well, I like to claim that I'm doing this with the knowledge of I'm doing it for a bigger reason and that I'm totally fine with it. Reality is he spends all day with me. He is fast becoming a big part of me and my family. And I will miss my little companion. That's personally what I'm going to miss, is just the companionship of him being with me. It's a lot more fun to be at work with something sleeping at your feet and looking adoringly at you. But I really do believe in what we are doing. What I want more than anything is for him to succeed, so we can feel like we completed the task we went out to do. Ultimately, what happens will be his decision. Southeastern Guide Dogs choose their career, whether they choose to be guide dogs or therapy dogs or service dogs or veterans assist dogs. There are multiple options for him, and ultimately he will choose. Wrigley has probably brought more I think, joy and bonding into our family than I think we could ever give back for Wrigley. So in terms of a family project, I think it was an amazing choice. I would have to say he's in my heart. So we want nothing but the best for him.
Zeus, there's a real career-minded canine, and a good reminder how much our canine friends do for us. Up next, a breed with the looks of royalty, but they are actually highly intelligent trackers. The Irish Setter, and Dog of the Week when we return.
You might feel like there's too many problems in the world, or that, you as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old can't really make a difference.
It's not always about you. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Using baby powder or talc may lead to ovarian cancer. $72 million was awarded in a recent talc lawsuit after lawyers found secret internal documents showing that the baby powder manufacturer knew about the link between talcum powder and ovarian cancer for decades, but never told the public. If you were diagnosed with ovarian cancer after using talcum powder on a regular basis, you may qualify for a cash award. Call 800-793-6621. 800-793-6621.
Today's Dog of the Week comes from a long line of sporting dogs called setters, known for their flowing red coat. The Irish Setter was bred for a very specific purpose. Let's find out. Carmen Hofstetter brings us the luck of the Irish with our Dog of the Week, the Irish Setter.
Carmen, we are here with these loving redheads.
Yeah.
And these are Irish Setters, and who doesn't love an Irish Setter, right? Dylan? Tell us about this breed. They're gorgeous, but is there a lot of grooming that goes with this?
There's not a whole lot of grooming. They don't shed a lot like some breeds do, and when they do, it's little tufts of hair that'll go along the baseboard. So, but you do need to keep them brushed. Weekly is fine, or even a couple times a month or something like that.
Now, do they have a single coat or a double coat?
They have a single coat.
When Carmen was introduced to the breed, it was love at first sight.
Well, it was 1971 when I got my first one, and I saw them, and I just fell in love with how they looked. And then after I got to know a couple of them, their personalities were I just loved them, and they have a lot of energy. And even though I was very young in 1971, they're
one's
still
counting.
Okay. Yeah, okay. But so they're just very sweet, loyal, loving dogs.
I find the Irish Setters very graceful, and Carmen tells me that there's a reason for that.
A lot of people think that the Gordons and the English and the Irish Red and White are the same breed, but they're really not. They were bred to hunt over different terrains, and that's why some are bulkier and heavier than others, whereas they're lighter. Not light, but lighter, right, relatively.
Irish Setters were originally used to crouch and set to indicate where birds could be found after guns were introduced. The dogs were taught to point. But even just as a pet, these dogs are special.
The personality, gentle?
Gentle. They love children. They absolutely love children, and are very gentle with children. They can tell that this is a smaller person, not to be as rambunctious.
Gentle, yes, but good security systems as well.
They bark at strangers, at something different. They're not barkers overall.
Irish Setters are fun-loving, active dogs, so they work well with people who have active lifestyles. Lily and Dylan proved this when they got the lay of the land at Dante's Den. Irish setters have been the dog of choice for many presidents, including Richard Nixon and Harry Truman, because of their gentle temperament. These dogs make very good therapy pets, often visiting nursing homes, schools, and hospitals.
Families come in all sizes and shapes. Sometimes your friends are your family by choice, or sometimes you're just stuck with Uncle Charles. But what we know is that you want to protect the people that are close to you. But the flu can unravel everything. Your flu vaccine protects you and your family. No matter what draws your family together, protect yourself, protect your family. Everyone needs a flu vaccine.
Help make the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions come true by attending Christmas in Candyland, Saturday, December 3rd from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Michael's on East. It'll be a wonderful family event with treats, music, cookie decorating, face painting, and other children's activities, followed by a special visit by Santa. Proceeds benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Central and Northern Florida. Get tickets at ChristmasinCandylandSRQ.com. Brought to you by these sponsors and ABC7.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, I have an important message. You may be entitled to receive disability benefits through Social Security. You'll be matched up with an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, deal with Social Security for you, and handle all appeals and hearings. Best of all, there are no upfront fees, so you pay nothing until you receive your benefits. Call the Citizens Disability Helpline today for a free, no-obligation consultation.
You can watch full episodes of Animal Outtakes by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Just visit youtube.com/Animal Outtakes.
Well, we've done it again. Another great show, from hawks to crocs, and a couple of really cool dogs. Hope you've had fun and you learned something along the way. Until next week, I'm Marcia Panucci. For me and Zeus, thanks for watching, and see you next week.
And do you know when will she be able to produce milk?
I think when she's older.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Why are they called setters? You'll find out. And he just left. Okay, now sit, 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 sit. You're not going to do that for me? Sit, come on, sit. Good boy, come on, come on. I know, that's not going to get you anywhere. Come on. Here, come on, let's go. Come on.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
ABC7's My Suncoast News app is better than ever with a brand new design that's faster and easier to use. Download our free My Suncoast News app on your mobile device at your app store of choice. Powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life. ABC7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
Attention breast cancer survivors. If you experience permanent hair loss or baldness after chemotherapy, you may qualify for a cash award. Thousands of women suffering breast cancer were given a chemotherapy drug without being warned about the possibility of irreversible alopecia. If you or a loved one suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy, call 888-622-8732. Time to file a claim is limited. 888-622-8732. That's 888-622-8732.
ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights.